Hi, this is Tim Tyson at drtimtyson.com, and I wanted to share with you some really cool and important updates to the information that I shared with you a few days ago on using the iPad as an interactive whiteboard. Much of this information is a direct result of all of the feedback that I received from numerous readers to my blog that also watched the quickcast that I made. Thank you for your feedback. I was wondering, why am I getting so many emails and not comments to my blog? And then I realized I had turned off comments because I was being slammed with spam a few months back and just shut them off. So I'll turn those back on so that you can add your comments to this blog post so that everyone can benefit from your wisdom. The first thing that I want to mention as we begin is that you'll notice that my toolbar for Ink to Go, which I shared with you in our last screencasts, is on top of my slides, and I can actually now write on the slides. I couldn't figure this out for the life of me, and I finally broke down and read the help menu on Ink to Go, sort of broke one of the guy rules there, and found out that if I simply go into the Keynote preferences under the slideshow tab and enable expose, then also show the pointer when the mouse moves, it adds the toolbar on top of the Keynote presentation slides and allows me to write on it as well. I'm not sure that Windows users have this issue with PowerPoint, but it's something that we have to do on the Mac side. The next thing that I wanted to share with you is comparing using Air Display with another really awesome tool. But first I want to start with Air Display because several of you shared additional ideas that I think will help folks that are going to use Air Display, because there is a key difference between Air Display and another piece of software that I'm going to share. One of the things that folks suggested was that if you already own interactive whiteboard software, it would work. You could use that with Air Display and not have to purchase Ink to Go. In my previous quickcast, I mentioned that there was no keyboard solution for Air Display. Several folks emailed me and said, well, there's the Mac keyboard viewer. So let me show you that right now. Let's just go to the desktop. Here at the top, I have added this menu option, and I did that by going to Open Keyboard in my system preferences on the Mac and making sure that this was checked. That's what puts this option in my menu bar. So now I'm going to say Show Keyboard. This is built into the Mac operating system. I had used this years ago, but found it rather limiting because the size of the keyboard was really small. Now I can make it full screen, as you see here. And this is an actual functioning keyboard. So if I touch on my Safari browser, let's go to my blog. So if I touch on the URL and type in blog, and I'm just touching, I have to get in the habit of saying touching and not clicking, and just touching on the keyboard, and I touch enter, and it brings up my blog, Practical Practice. A very useful solution. The one thing that I can't figure out here, so help us all out folks, is how would I use multiple keyboard combinations? For example, the control key and another key at the same time, or the command key and the tab key to application switch. Not sure how to make that happen using this keyboard. And then by touching up here, I can hide the keyboard to move it out of my way. So let's go back to the presentation slides. Now, how did I do that? We'll get into that in a moment, because I am using only my iPad to present this quickcast. Another group of emails suggested the use of a program that runs on the iPad, runs on the iPod Touch, and also runs on the iPhone, called Mobile Mouse. There's a free version, which probably has some limitations or advertising, I'm not sure. And then there's the version that costs $1.99. Very affordable. It turns the touch surface into a mouse, a trackpad, if you will. The keyboard has some quick keys, has quick access to the application switcher. So there are a number of features that software adds. One of the emails suggested that if you wanted to totally geek out, was the expression used, you could have your iPod Touch running that while your iPad ran Ink2Go. And that would work. I actually tried it. So if you want to manage multiple devices, that's a solution for you. The screen recording with Ink2Go, I mentioned before that it does not allow the capture of audio. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. Several folks mentioned that they use QuickTime to record their screencasts. QuickTime will run on Mac and it will run on Windows. Now, in the old days, you had to upgrade from QuickTime to QuickTime Pro in order to get some of the additional functionality. I'm not sure if that is the case now or not. Share your wisdom in the comment section here, because I've had QuickTime Pro for so many years, I don't know if it is still a separate package that you have to purchase. And if you do, I think it's $29 or something like that. Sound input. One person sent in an email saying that she records her audio using her Bluetooth headset. And certainly you can do that. The same Bluetooth headset that you use with your phone, you can pair with your computer and select that as your input device. Or, of course, you can continue to use a regular USB microphone or the microphone built in to your computer. In the next quickcast, I'd like to cover Splash Top, an awesome substitute for Air Display at half the price. Be sure to watch.